Thank you for coming. After everything you've already done for Ravenrock, I hate to ask for more, but I can't risk Councillor Morvayn being killed. The Ulan family of House Lalu, a rival great house, has placed a death mark on the Councillor's head. It's a private matter. Let's just say they seek revenge for the execution of one of their own, ordered by Councillor Morvayn himself. The problem is, I don't have any solid proof that anyone from House Lalu is hidden among us. Only my suspicions. It may be justified, but it certainly isn't appreciated. Councillor Morvayn simply feels that I'm being paranoid. I'm afraid that one day I'll awaken and discover him dead. And I don't want it to come to that. I do. I've received some information from my sources that there could be elements of Ulan's house, House Lalu, already in Ravenrock. Ravenrock is a small settlement, so it's hard to accomplish anything in secret. If any of them is from House Lalu, I wouldn't be able to make a move without them knowing. I had a feeling you'd be willing to listen to me. I need you to start out by being... The best place to start would be Geldis Sadri, over at the Retching Netch Corner Club. If he provides you any leads, check them out before bringing them to my attention. I can't afford to make any mistakes. Traitors. The lot of them. Their collaboration with the Empire may have given them unrivaled political and economic strength, but their hearts weren't with the Dunmer people. Lalu deserved every bit of hatred they received once the Empire released its grasp on Morrowind. Having past ties to the Empire immediately turned them into the scapegoat for the Dunmer people's suffering. They had welcomed the Empire with open arms and benefited from it. When everything was said and done, they were no longer recognized as a great house and were dismissed from the council. I maintain a few contacts in other Dunmer settlements across Tamriel. Most hail from House Redoran, but there are a few from other houses. Most of my contacts live leagues away from Solstheim. Sending the occasional message back and forth is all we can manage, and sometimes takes months or more to arrive. However, any information we can glean in times like this, I consider vital to House Redoran's survival. During the Oblivion Crisis, gates to the Plane of Oblivion opened all over Morrowind. The Empire pulled most of its forces out of Morrowind to deal with the gates in their own homeland, leaving us virtually defenseless. We had no standing army at the time, just uncoordinated pockets of resistance.
Hope we don't run into too many ash spawn.
House Redoran took charge and was slowly able to build an army. It took years, but it became a force to be reckoned with. When the Argonians invaded years later, House Redoran's army was able to prevent them from sweeping across all of Morrowind. It would be fair to say that House Redoran literally saved the Dunmer people from destruction. Don't worry, you can trust Geldis. He's been with us for a long time.
If you're looking for supplies, talk to them.
You got a good thing going here now that you've reopened the mines.
Well, Adril's got himself a spy, does he? Azura knows he needs all the help he can get. He's been chasing the Ulans for years now. No, I just think he's going about this the wrong way. Actually, I do. If you want to catch those slippery slaughterfish, you need to let them come to you. There's an Ulan ancestral tomb near the temple. Someone's been leaving ash yam offerings on the altar inside. If you were to wait inside for whomever that is, I'm betting they'll have some of the answers you're looking for. What makes you think I haven't? Anytime Adril and the Redarin Guard made a move, the Ulans must have been one step ahead and didn't show up. You can thank me if it works. Until then, I'd head to the tomb and wait until your visitor shows up. Back in '95, Vila Ulan came to Raven Rock with a plan to take over our town. The Fetcher thought he could stir up the locals and use them against the Redarin Guard, and then murder Consular Morvain when we weren't looking. He arrived alone, but spread enough coin around to start changing people's minds. Half the bloody town joined his side. Can you believe that? He underestimated the Redarin Guard. They were organized and brought a swift end to the coup. Vila tried to run, but he was caught by Captain Veleth himself. Vila Ulan was executed a short time later, and his remains placed in the Ulan ancestral tomb. When the Dunmer is laid to rest, the body is burned and returned to the ashen soil. Since the ash yam is born of the very same soil, it represents rebirth and renewal, the fact that life ends and begins anew.
I'm not sure why House Redarin is so insistent on maintaining Solstheim.
Nothing specific, but I'm hearing rumblings of assassins living amongst us. I think they intend to target Consular Morvain, but I can't be certain.
If you're looking for passage to Vardenfell, you're out of luck. No ships.
Excuse me. I didn't realize there was anyone else here. I presume the same thing you're doing. Forgive my surprise. It's just that I wouldn't expect that sort of behavior from someone who isn't
I'm glad that I'm
Dunmer.
finally traveling with someone.
Since there
who
aren't
sees
any
the
Ulans left on this island,
last faith
I've
was
taken it
Pharaoh's
upon myself to
fight
leave the
back in
traditional
my
offering in their stead. Oh, no bother. We all have a... Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to meditate a bit.
I trust you're not planning any trouble. What can I do for you, Fred?
I hope Geldis prove... Telesu. Are you sure? So Geldis' plan worked, eh? Every time we tried it, no one would ever show up. If Telesu's involved in any sort of plot to harm Councillor Morvain, I'm going to need hard evidence to prove it. I'm not kicking down anyone's door until I have solid evidence in hand. If you're wrong about Telesu, things would quickly go downhill around here, and the real culprits might slip away. I can't afford for that to happen. If you have evidence, and it places your life in peril, I would expect you to do whatever you must to keep yourself alive. Here, this key should open the front door of the manor in case they've locked it. Good luck. Telesu is wife to the family patriarch Vendel. They have a single child, a daughter named Miri. They arrived here 10 years ago and have been nothing but a benefit to Raven Rock ever since. They're quite wealthy, and they've been quite generous by sharing their fortune with the community. They've contributed coin, food, supplies, even helped repair a few of the buildings in town with their own hands. People have mentioned it's a bit odd about how close in age Mary appears to be to her father, but that's hardly a cause for alarm. Just make sure you find solid evidence. If I accuse them without it, I'll be the laughing stock of the colony. Villa Ulen wasn't the first Ulen to live in Raven Rock. His father, Valen Ulen, was one of the first Dunmer to settle here. Unlike his son, Villa, Valen was a good man. He contributed to the community and was quite respected. When Valen died, his family provided the funds to construct the tomb. The Ulen family being a part of House Lalu didn't matter. It's Dunmer's tradition for the ashes of the deceased to be placed in an ancestral tomb. Valen Ulen and his son's remains were both laid to rest there because that's what he'd requested.
I've spent enough time on Solstheim to last a
Be careful. If the Severans have betrayed us, then they'll be well armed.
What's our next move? You're going ahead without me? Suit yourself.
That? I won't allow you to ruin years of Morvain's reign. Is over.
It's not my time.
You ready to get going? About time. Let's go. Anytime you want to head for Skyrim, I'm right with you. I've spent enough time in this soul.
You lost?
Did you find it? Then we finally have them. All that remains now is chasing them down. Good. I'm going to send 2 of the best Redoran Guard we have to take them down. I want you to assist them and see that you do. We can't afford to let these traitors slip away.
If you witness suspicious activity, report it to Captain Bellet and Regent.
I work for Mogul.
You got a problem, you talk
With the
to him.
Ashbourne threat, it can be. They usually didn't amount to much, but they make my job that much harder. Some of my own men have become quite accustomed. Despise the stuff myself. It's powerful and tremendously addicting. I've seen men fail to finish even a single flask. If I knew where they were stashing the bottles, I'd put an end to it myself. That would be helpful. I just don't have time to do it myself. They're too smart to have left it in the bulwark. I'd search one of the abandoned houses on the outskirts of town.
Glover Mallory's the name. If you look, the finest weapons and armor. Bring your weapons and armor to me. I'll fix it up right.
Is someone there? Get him! Filthy and... That's it? Ha! I've been trained wrong! I join you in death! Lucky! Despite the foul beings that infest this place, I'm certain we'll find plenty of wealth to make it worth our time.
That we might remember. By night we reclaim what by day was stolen.
Why are you out here? Aren't you supposed to be in the tower assisting us with
There's somebody working. You must...
what happened? Were you able to track down Vendel? Out with it! Then, it's finally over. What of the Redoran Guard I sent to assist you?
Anytime you want to head for Skyrim,
Damn it. I was hoping to protect our people by sending them, not end up with casualties. To think that Vendel would stoop so low as to hire those fetchers. I'm glad you killed him. Wonderful. Simply wonderful. Councillor Morvain will be quite pleased when he hears about this. Follow me, and I'll take you to the Councillor so you can speak to him yourself.
Plenty of work in Vermont if you're looking.
Excuse me, Councillor Morvain. I have some wonderful news.
Adril, I haven't seen a smile on your face like that in a long time.
This visitor has single-handedly dealt with a threat that could have ended your life. Vendel, Telesue, and Miri Severin weren't who they appeared to be. I'm afraid they were here to avenge Villa Ulen's death.
Vendel? But he's done so much for Raven Rock. How could this be possible?
They did it to gain our confidence, Councillor. They had us all fooled. I should have been more vigilant. I'm sorry.
Don't say that. It's not your fault, old friend. And you, step forward. What you've done for me, for all of Raven Rock, goes far beyond what I would have expected from a traveler to our town. For this, you have my deepest gratitude.
With keeping Laeral alive, which I've done without question
Now,
for over 100 years.
I'm certain Adril was prepared to reward you appropriately for everything you've done. However, since a bit of coin hardly seems like enough,
I'm sorry,
I've
my
decided to provide
lord. This is
something
Ireland. It's
more
not felt the same since
substantial.
we left Vardenfell. It's as though
Since the Severin
something is
family,
missing.
or whoever they were,
Every dozen
turned out to be
left a piece of
criminals,
themselves
their
behind
property
when they
is now
departed
forfeit.
All we
As
can do
counselor,
is make the
I
most
hereby
of what
award
we
you
have.
Severin Manor and everything contained within. You've earned your citizenship here, and I hope you'll consider staying with us as a member of our community.
I can't thank you enough for reopening the Ebony Mines. You've brought light to the darkness, my friend. You've succeeded where I've failed. I've known the Councillor since we were both quite young. We rose the ranks in House Redoran together. When word arrived in Blacklight that the Councillor's father had passed, I was asked to sail to Raven Rock with him as his second. It meant passing on better opportunities at home, but I didn't want to leave his side. We fought quite a few battles together and saved each other's lives on more than one occasion. Our bond is our strength. We've always been at each other's side, and nothing will ever change that.
The mines are open and the ebony has begun to flow because of your
I was
discovery.
mistaken about you, sir.
My